the fuck is up, gamers?
Gamers?
What the fuck is up, gamers?
Welcome to the resurrection episode. I don't know if this will be a regular thing or anything. I have no fucking clue. But this is Henry Kissinger's Past Gaming Time Decadence, the new video gaming podcast from your friends at HKIPGTD Enterprises.
It's your daily video games news podcast.
It's your daily. Yes, we're doing this every fucking day. Strap in.
We will be resurrecting Henry every day and then killing him when we're done.
Yes, we're going to be doing some Danganronpa style shit to his body.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're going to be doing some Umaneko type chapter 3 type shit to his body.
We're going to tie him to a pole and then pelt him with video game controllers.
Yay. That's how they killed the Pope, you know. They just did it with copies of Deltarune.
That's nice.
Deltarune?
Yeah. Undertale. Fuck. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm Sam.
I'm Rook. Hi. Formerly the podcaster formerly known as Sarah, now primarily known as Rook. I still go by Sarah occasionally, but I'm phasing it out. It's a meat space name.
It's a meat space name. It's a meat space name.
It's a meat space name.
I'm Elizabeth. I think the last time I recorded a podcast, I literally changed names between recording and posting it.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I'm looking at my work laptop.
Yep. Sam is waiting to hear back from his boss to find out whether or not he gets fired.
Okay, that's not. That was a joke.
Yeah, no, I know you're not actually on the hot seat here.
He said yesterday that he wanted to talk to me today, and now it's 4:30 and he hasn't responded, so I have no idea if he actually wants to talk to me.
Doesn't he know it's
if I do
time?
Get a response, I'm just going to keep the recording going, and you'll get to hear me get fired or something, or get a raise.
Hopefully the latter. But, you know, if it's the former, I think we still have like $3 in the slush fund from back when we had a Patreon, so we got you.
I'm gonna be okay.
We've been gaming. Sorry, you can't hear this on the recording yet, but someone did leave as soon as we said we've been gaming.
I want to be clear. I want to be crystal clear. We are not doing politics.
We are
Anyone
not,
who
absolutely.
references the concept of politics will be killed via electric chair.
We are here to talk about games because the Discord server that we run kind of existed in perpetuity for about like 5 years after the end of the podcast. More or less.
Yeah. Let's bring people up to speed. If you are a devout listener of this podcast and you are so excited to see a new episode pop up, the server's been just hanging out for 5 years.
It is wild to imagine that anyone listens to the podcast but doesn't already know. I mean, like, we're literally in the server all day, every day.
I did get recognized. I was making small talk with someone at there was like a pro-Palestine rally at the town hall with like a bunch of people speaking on both sides. Sorry, I did get recognized for podcasting at that town hall.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if that person is here, sorry, we're gaming.
It does feel a little bad to do the electric chair noise after you mentioned a pro-Palestine rally. I don't feel very good about that, to be honest.
We'll cut it out.
But I can't say free Palestine or I'll be killed. No, we all know we're on the same page here about that.
Yeah.
Look, computers, consoles, handhelds, and so much more. These
Steam
are just
Deck.
some of the ways that we play video games every day.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam. What games have you been playing?
I actually don't play video games much anymore.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a lie and a joke. Well, Lauren and I just finished Apollo Justice, which was good. We just played through the entirety of 999 in like 3 days.
Okay.
And I'm about 150 hours into the 100 line.
So you're about like what, a third of the way
lines?
I feel like it's gotta be winding down.
We can just go in order on that. Apollo Justice, that's a good game.
It's good.
It's very blurred in my mind with every single thing I remember about Apollo Justice, I'm trying to think really hard, and all I can remember is A, that really shitty CGI cutscene of Gavin's guitar lighting on fire, and B,
that they show you 150 times,
and B, the guy with the huge torpedo hair from that case, and I guess C, a bunch of stuff from Dual Destinies that I keep thinking is from original Apollo Justice.
A man is named Romain Latouche.
Who the fuck is Romain Latu? I need to look.
He dies.
Spoilers.
I mean, he lived.
I need to look at this man. I don't remember anything about Apologist. It's been over a decade.
He's the guy who gets killed in the case where Gavin's guitar catches on fire. The thing about Apologist Ace Attorney is that there's a lot of stuff in it that is good, and Christoph Gavin is not one of those things. He's the prosecutor. The trouble is, Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth are in love.
Yes, yeah, we all know this.
Yeah.
And then Gavin shows up, and he's just like, hello. And that's kind of where his character ends.
Him and Apollo has something fruity going on to me.
Is he...
What?
Christoph, it's
Clavier. Excuse me. We were both saying Christoph.
The well-tempered Clavier.
Is he the one with, like, the visor?
No, that's Godot from the third game, which I think is bad, and everyone else thinks is the best one.
Interesting.
We're not... Okay.
There's a thing that I want to talk about with Clavier
Elizabeth,
Gavin.
here's a gif of Clavier Gavin for you to...
There's Clavier Gavin. Also, Lauren and I are engaged now.
Congratulations.
Keeping track. That was her yelling earlier. The thing about Clavier Gavin is that because in the Ace Attorney games, they have the little voice lines that play when there's an objection or a hold it. Mm-hmm. And when his plays, he just goes like, objection! In like an American guy voice. Mm-hmm. But he always he says like Fraulein and all the time. He's
German as fuck.
That's what I don't get, because we constructed a narrative, because when Lauren and I play, we do all the silly voices the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's a flashback case that is like Clavier Gavin's first case. So Phoenix in that case has some comment about like, oh, he's putting on this, like, Euro-affected rock star accent. So I have a lore, a headcanon, if you will, that teenage Gavin was always... He would be like, oh, Your Honor, the prosecution is ready. And then as he got older, he got really embarrassed and stopped doing that. What do you think of that?
I have no choice but to believe it. I'm incorporating it in my worldview.
On the other hand, I'm watching this looping animation of him doing air guitar in the courtroom, and I think that maybe he doesn't have any conception of what's embarrassing.
So my issue is that
I love
his
this
name
guy.
means keyboard.
And he played
Like guitar.
It's not right. It's not right.
His brother's name doesn't mean anything, which is fucked. His brother's name was Christoph.
Well, that means a lot of things to a lot of people.
It means Christoph.
To me, it means Clavier Gavin.
I do love Christoph. Like, great. Oh god, the ending of that game is. I really like the way that game ends.
Yeah, I've only played the first. Yeah. I should play more of these games.
They're all good, except that they're all to some varying degrees also bad.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, pretty much every game has a fucking stinker case in it. Like there's Big Top Turnabout, which I like on a structural level, but I don't like a lot of the content that's going on.
I don't like much of anything about that one.
And then there's the flashback case in Trials and Tribulations, which I don't remember the name of, but but Trials and Tribulations is a great game aside from that. So like it's
I hated it.
And then Apollo Justice has its ups and downs. Dual Destinies is not. It's
historically
fine.
Been my favorite game in the series.
Really?
We started it like last night, I think, and I think memory problem.
Black Quill is like
top
the thing
tier.
Is he's not even top. Oh God, the thing is that like. Franziska's in a weird spot for me because, like, if I look at the whole of Ace Attorney, I probably don't put Franziska in my top 3. But the thing is that, like, I was introduced to Franziska von Karma at, like, a very susceptible age to, like, women and gender. And she was deeply formative to me on that level, so I feel like she has to crack the top 3 just on that alone. But, like, I don't know if she can hang with Edgeworth or Godot.
When did you stop being susceptible to women and gender? Because I still am.
You've got a good... You've got me there, Elizabeth. You've
not
got
a fan
me there.
anymore.
Not a fan of women anymore.
Happy Pride.
Pride, everyone.
And then Happy Pride. And then Spirit of Justice I did not finish.
It's all right. It's all right.
I
feel like I've really monopolized this with Apollo Justice. What's everyone else been gaming?
I have been playing a couple of things. The thing I really want to talk about though is Toho Mystia's Izakaya, which is a Diner Dash like. Any Diner Dash heads in the chat?
Wasn't that like a Flash game on Addicting Games or something?
It very much was, Sam. There was also a paid version, but there was a lot of free levels. And so what the game is that it is set in the Toho universe. You do not have to have played a Toho game to get to enjoy the game, and it is also not at all like a traditional Toho game. There is no bullet hell or anything. Having played the other games does, or like knowing stuff about like the world does help you a little bit, because you get to point at characters and say, "Oh my god, that's my friend Wriggle Nightbug." Shout out to my friend Wriggle Nightbug. But it's really just completely separate from all of that. It just kind of uses the setting. By day, you run around the village and like the local areas, and you do like small quests, and you like collect ingredients for the night, and you do like, you talk to the people, and you're like, hey, come to my izakaya tonight. I will cook you a delicious meal. And then at the end of that, by 6 p.m. every day, it shifts into the izakaya mode, which is where you are playing Diner Dash, where you are like going up to your little food cooking stations, pressing the button that says, please cook me miso soup. Please cook me please cook me like some runny eggs. Please cook me some like fucking fried cicada shells, which
sounds quite a bit like Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver is another thing I was going to point out. Yeah, it's and it's great. I'm absolutely loving it. The soundtrack is really understated, but it's very cute. The art is beautiful. Everything is just like this. The little like character models are like, they look like they look like the Danganronpa sprites, like you know what I'm talking about, like the little mini ones that like you see on the loading screens and whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then you also have like, more detailed sprites of the characters, like when they're actually in conversation. It's really fun. I'm just having a good time with it. There's not really an in-depth story. It's just like I'm going to play a little diner game for the next like 40 minutes of my life. And
this is fascinating to me because I have long held a theory that Toho doesn't actually exist and that it's not anything, and there's no media that falls under the Toho umbrella. And this is the first time I've ever actually heard anyone vocalize the fact that they know what Toho is and like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I also like the bullet hells, for what it's worth. I have only beaten one of them, and I've only played like 3, but I really do like them. They're very fun, and I've been flirting with the idea of getting really into Toho, just like, reading some of the doujin, and for, like, getting into the story of what the hell's going on in Gensokyo.
What the hell's going on in Gensokyo?
There are a lot of yokai, and they're all girls, and
Naturally.
there are a couple of humans who have some affinity for the spirit world, like Reimu, who you would know Reimu if you saw her. She is a shrine maiden. There's also Marisa, who is a witch. I don't know much of the other characters, but then there's then they're the yokai. Like,
how do you spell Reimu? I need to see if you're right.
Reimu. Reimu Hakude.
We'll see if you're right.
Yeah, I know I am.
No.
Nope. Never seen this character in my life.
You've never seen Reimu?
No.
What the fuck? What?
She seems...
Toho is an anomaly. I've heard of it a million times, but I don't know shit about it.
Okay, you've seen Marisa, at least.
Marisa Tomei.
Kirisame.
Oh, Tomei is a human woman.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more. I'm just gonna post a gift of Cherno, because you have seen Cherno.
Chernobog?
Cherno. Cirno.
She looks like some anime girl I've seen in something, but I don't think I know her.
Damn, this is fascinating.
She looks like Ray in terms of hair color.
I can see that. Yeah, I guess I'm experiencing the XKCD comic right now.
I was gonna say, the average person only knows about Marissa.
So the thing is that I've also been told that there was a Metroidvania from a couple of years ago that was really good that I do intend to dip into. But yeah, Toho Luna Nights, I'll be checking that out. But yeah, I really even if you don't give a shit about Toho whatsoever, I think this is a really fun game. Great, huge Steam Deck recommend. Also, if you have a Steam Deck, it's only $5 also, and I bought it on sale for like $1.50. So get your fucking gaming in. And if you don't like it, just return it, because if you don't like it after the first hour of gameplay, that is what the game is. There's no really cost to sink into. Big recommend.
Fun.
Elizabeth, what have you been playing?
I don't play games anymore. No, that's not true.
Okay.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week.
I finished No More Heroes from 2007.
Let's talk. Okay, brief aside before we dive into this. I watched a couple of episodes of Serial Experiments Lane. recently, which A, great show, B, they have a voice read out the title cards and it is identical to the voice they use for the assassin names in No More Heroes.
The Microsoft Sam?
You know, like the Dr. B. Like that shit, which made me lose my fucking mind.
Those are great.
Anyways, yeah.
It sounded like what? Sorry, what did you say?
I said the first half of Dr. Peace.
Okay, I thought you said Gonku Dorky, and I was like, wow, I gotta play this game.
Gonku Dorky. He's the secret rank 0 assassin.
Gonku Dorky is my Star Wars OC.
Anyways, Elizabeth, what are your thoughts on No More Heroes, Mr. Travis Touchdown?
Mr. Travis Touchdown is not seeing heaven, but his game is very fun.
I love him. He sucks so. There's a tweet I think about all the time where it's like, Travis Touchdown finished playing Undertale, eyes filled with tears, and then opened up Rule 34 to Google, or opened up just Googled like Toriel hentai immediately.
I mean that's exactly what it is, and I'm so glad that I'm coming to this game as an adult with like a fully developed frontal lobe who can appreciate what they're doing with this complete lecherous otaku who nevertheless has not a heart of gold, but like I don't know, he's
heart of brass, maybe.
He's got a heart of flesh.
He's got a heart of flesh. I love it.
He's very relatable in that way. I've never played it.
Yeah, it's a very I can see why it's a cult classic. I know that people hated like the structure of it, where between the main missions where you're just like beating up a bunch of people and then fighting a boss, you get these like side missions to make enough money to enter the next fight, and those all use the Wii motion controls. And I thought those were a blast. I thought that was really fun and a good use of the Wii, and also a good excuse to like use my Wii U, which I have plugged into my TV in 2025.
I think that to my recollection, I remember really liking the odd jobs that you would get to do between the missions. But the thing that always drove me nuts about the game is the fact that those were like not real things you could do to earn money. So you had to like do those to unlock the jobs where you go to a garage and kill a bunch of guys.
You make money off of the odd jobs, just not as much.
But
I think they are just really fun to do on their own.
They are. I have a fond memory of the coconut ones.
Yeah, that's the first one, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun." I'm just like toddling around with some coconuts.
Great fucking game. Phenomenal soundtrack too. Must be said. All of the boss themes are just like unreal. I regularly. I haven't in a while, but I used to regularly listen to those just like in my downtime. Destroy Man's in particular was a real favorite of mine.
I'm sure you're right, but I don't have any memory of any of the boss themes because there was so much yelling and sword swinging during those fights.
The sound of the beam saber is so fucking loud. Were you hearing it through like the shitty Wii mic as well?
I was hearing the phone calls that you get before each boss fight, which were very fun, but also I can't tell if this was intentional or just because the Wii remote is 15 years old, but it was so fucking quiet and crunchy. I had to really just put it up to my ear, which is very funny. It was just a really great use of the form factor of the Wii. There's a Steam version out, which I imagine is good, but doesn't have the same kind of charm.
I've played it. It's fine.
I was using the Wii remotes. I keep saying Wii remotes like I'm professional. They're fucking Wiimotes.
Yeah. Elizabeth, what is your theory that you gave me the bare skeleton of it
I didn't,
a few days ago?
I didn't really flesh it out more, but I just I noticed as I was playing that it has a lot of like DNA in common with Scott Pilgrim, because it's about this guy who kind of sucks. Travis sucking a lot more than Scott Pilgrim. But like having to fight a series of guys, some of whom are girls, to supposedly get with a girl, and then some stuff happens along the way, and there's some DNA in common in terms of like meta humor and stylistic influences. Yeah,
and you can tell that like Brian Lee O'Malley very heavily influenced by anime, and Suda51 very heavily influenced by Toronto, Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Travis is fucking from Calgary. That that took me out.
Is it only on the Wii?
No, so no,
It has
there's
a port.
there's a Steam
but,
and Switch
like,
port.
Yeah, there's also like a PS4 version, I think.
Sure.
I can't tell if it's the kind of thing that's like right up my alley or if I would absolutely hate it.
I would say
Sam, I've known you for almost a decade now, and I do not fucking know.
I would say again, we love the Steam 2-hour refund policy. Play through through the first side mission where you have to go collect coconuts to make enough money to go to the second level. And if you don't have fun with that, then return the game.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm just thinking about like the openings, the start of that game. Like I played that game around when it came out. I played that game pretty freshly after it came out. I was how old would I have been? I need to figure out what part of my brain this is lodged in. I think it was 2007.
It came out in 2007, yeah.
Yeah. So this puts me at like 13 years old, maybe 14. This shit, like that first sequence just like cratered my skull on impact. Just like Travis riding that fucking motorcycle, bashing through the gates and like slicing through those two nobody bodyguards. Ugh.
Will I get electric chaired if I change the subject to why we actually decided that we wanted to record this episode?
No, please.
Hold on. I didn't think that there's anything else I had to say about No More Heroes. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Well, it was the, I want to say 35th anniversary of the Garfield comic strip where John drinks dog cum. Yeah, that comic kind of tore us apart for a minute. And we were just talking with people who had joined the server after that. Yeah. Who were like, wait, what was the thing with that comic?
This server turns 8 in a couple of months.
That's messed up. It's going to be old enough to drive. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Handshake. Anyway, yeah, we were telling the story of the dog cum. I was going to say incident, but it was era, really.
Yeah.
It was like 3 months. I don't know how much of it made it onto the podcast, but what I got from reading screenshots is that we basically talked about it every week for a couple of months, and then we all just got progressively madder and madder at each other about it.
Yeah. And I think there was, like, at least for me, I had a tension around it because I was like, I know other people fucking hate this, so I'm going to like try and put my foot out on this. I didn't really care that strongly about it, I don't think. Though, I do have to reiterate the story, which is, when I was doing a speed run at a charity marathon, in like 2019 maybe. Sam, your sister sent a donation.
We don't know who it was. We don't know who it was or who they're related to.
I could swear shut up, Mabel. I could swear that this was Mabel, and the donation just read something like, "I hate when I can't get my dog to come. I hate when I can't get my dog to heal." I'm like, "Come, dog, come."
You know, so many things can be said by so many people.
So many specific people.
That could have been anybody, related to you or otherwise.
Anyway, we were talking about dog cum the other day, and that we decided that it would be funny to do a podcast again.
It would be,
and we were right.
Yeah. Hey, listen, everyone. The world sucks, and we're very aware.
Yeah.
But that's why gaming is more important than ever.
Now more than ever.
Gaming is more important.
Speaking personally, I like my friends and I like talking to them, and I think it's pretty clear to anyone who used to listen to the podcast that doing like a weekly, was it weekly or like bi-weekly? By the end I think it
weekly.
It was weekly.
Oh God. Yeah,
it seems unimaginable.
Right.
I have a lot of fond memories of that time. That was a completely bonkers thing for a bunch of fucking idiots to try doing and taking seriously.
Right.
And me.
And Sam.
And Sam. A bunch of dumb fucking dipshits and Sam.
I think that Sam, it was a real travesty that it ever happened. But thanks for listening.
What else have you been playing, Sam?
My gaming news is that Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was canceled, and that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that going to be?
It was going to be a Pokemon Go.
It was going to be Kingdom Hearts Pokemon Go into the polls.
Pokemon Go to the
and
heart of the world.
So, based on the fact that there is to my knowledge, there's never been a lore insignificant Kingdom Hearts release, they're going to have to find a way to put the lore that they that they plan on putting into this game elsewhere.
Yeah, Brain was supposed to be in it, so we're all kind of trying to figure out what to do with Brain. The thing
Yeah.
is, there is actually one Kingdom Hearts lore insignificant game, and it's called Kingdom Hearts Mobile, and you make a little avatar and you run around, basically. Which I
Not
think
to be
this was
confused
going
with
to be
Kingdom-
that, but also Brain was going to be in it.
Not to be confused with Kingdom Hearts Cross Union?
Union Cross.
Union Cross,
obviously.
which is a mobile game that was lore significant.
Well, Union Cross was
I would say it's about as lore significant as anything has ever been to anything.
also Union Cross was either was it the second or the third key game?
Okay, so basically what happened is that there was Kingdom Hearts Key, which was a Japan-only browser game. They made it a worldwide mobile game with Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, and then that was part 1, and then part 2 of Unchained Key was Union Cross so that it could have the same acronym. Because obviously Key and Cross are both an X. Of course,
because they're using the Greek letter chi as the word
yes,
key.
the Greek letter chi and cross as okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny though when they canceled it because I'm not gonna say that anyone was wrong for being sad or distraught or upset in any way, but it was very funny to me that 99% of the reactions that I saw across all social media and websites was people just going, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Well,
Nobody cared.
I've got video game news.
What's your video
Game
news?
news.
The Hunter x Hunter Net Impact fighting game is out
Hunter
soon.
Hunter.
Hunting Impact?
There's a demo out now. I've played a bit of it. The game feels sick as fuck. It could look a little bit better. I don't know how I would do it. It just feels like it's lacking a bit. Like if this game came out like 5 years ago, I would not have a single. I just feel like there's a lack of like stylization in the visuals that I really want to see from this.
Rook, I have a
But
question.
I don't know. What's that?
Am I going to get spoiled on the last 12 episodes that haven't been covered by Media Club Plus yet?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, they have not revealed a single character that is in. I mean, there are characters that I kind of expected to be in that have not been revealed for the game yet. Like, for example, Illumi is not a playable character that's been revealed yet. I mean, he probably will be because he'll probably be like in DLC. Like, you know, Pito is not in the base game, but Pito will be.
Pito's not there?
Pito will be like the first DLC character, but no,
You
Pito's
gotta
not
have
in the base
Pito.
game.
You got.
Let me look at this base roster real quick.
You need Pito, you need Momogobo.
So obviously the main four are going to be in there. And then
Does Leorio get to? Does he exist?
Yes.
I feel like he's in like 600 episodes of that show, and I can't remember him ever doing literally anything.
He goes to med
He's in,
school
like-
or something?
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Because he's gone before the show has like a fighting system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he ever do literally anything?
He showed, okay, so he's pivotal to York New. He makes a very
Okay.
funny. But the thing is, Leorio does. I love when Leorio shows back up in fucking York New City, and he's like, I know like half the stuff about Nen right now, and Kilo and Gon are like, hey, we passed that stuff like 4 months ago.
You were gone. You went to med school right at the most important time. You were in med school when we were all being killed by ants.
Yeah. Anyways, so Elizabeth, I want to go over this roster. So the main four, Netero, Bisky, Kite, and Morel. I was surprised to see Morel in the roster. but
Morel's the
that's,
guy
you know,
with the big hookah,
big pipe.
right?
Yes, Morel Akronasi. Yes, the big ass lungs. He's smoking.
I don't remember this guy.
He's young King Dave.
His like special ability is vape tricks.
Yeah, especially
Oh, the guy with the comically large pipe.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's Hisoka, Krollo, Uvogin, Phaeton. Surprising. I was really surprised to see Phaeton in that
Who is
roster.
Ugogin?
Uvogin?
Who's that?
Uvogin was like a big guy.
The
He was
big
like
guy?
a main character, wasn't he?
He was the big guy that from York New City.
Uf-
one of
Oh,
the Phantom
that's not
Troop?
even who I was thinking of. I thought he was on the video game island. God, I wish I was on the video
No,
game
that's
island.
Razor. Razor is also in this game.
It's been a while since I watched this, and I
Listeners-
watched it all in a real depression haze, so it's hard to say what anything was.
Listeners, you may be asking, when are they going to start talking about the House Senate Commission and
Who?
Genthru is here.
Genthru
and
is
Machi,
I remember.
Machi is,
Okay, here's the things that I remember
Machi
from
is here
Hunter
as well,
Hunter.
and also Meruem. Anyways, go on, Sam.
I remember that there was Knucklebine, and he looked like Josuke.
yeah,
I love
he's
Knucklebine.
literally just Josuke.
And then the other thing that I remember from Hunter x Hunter is that I would say that I think about the name Biscuit Bisky Kruger maybe 6 times a day.
Kruger so much. Biscuit Kruger.
It's I've just been watching the show for the past year and a half or so, along with Media Club Plus. Shout out to was Sylvie on the first episode of HKIP?
One of the first, yeah.
Shout out to friend of the show, Sylvie Bullet.
Shout out to friend of the show, friend of the table, Sylvie.
Fastest
Sylvie
to retire.
Sylvie Bullet, so
early.
nasty.
So nasty.
Gratata. Neve and I were listening to the Friends at the Table Perpetua prologue on the drive down to Massachusetts recently, and Neve like faked being mad at Austin when he said Sylvie's name without adding a gratata afterwards, which I thought was funny. Anyways, Net Impact, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, shout out to Media Club Plus. Good. Go stop listening to this podcast. Go listen to that one.
Well, keep listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Also, Hunter x Hunter is great.
It's
I got to the end of the Chimera Ant arc, and I mean it's such a, I don't want to say slog. It's not a slog. What's the like nice? It's relentless.
It's relentless.
And it's endless, but it's good.
Well, it ends.
It's so good. It is the best 60 arc episode of anime in the world.
I came out the other side of it, and I felt like I had stepped into the daylight for the first time in a year, and I'm just blinking. And then, right then, I got a text on my phone that said, "Hey, did you know that this series is famously on hiatus forever, and the anime will never be finished?" And that I didn't watch any more of it, even though there were like 6 episodes left.
Yeah, it really seems like that's just kind of the situation with it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I feel like where the anime. I don't think this is too spoiler to talk. I think where the anime leaves things off, if they never pick up another animation cell for that series again, I will not be upset about it. I think they leave the show off. I think the anime leaves the series off in a really good spot, largely. It leaves a couple of like thematic threads feel like they kind of fall short, but you know, there was never going to be a perfect end to it, especially with Tagashi's, health and everything. Please get some rest. Please get some rest, King.
It is funny to think that, like, 15 years later, I would go back for the last 6 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I did, because I watched, back in, like, my first stint of college, I watched up to the Chimera Ants arc, and then I got to the Chimera Ants arc, and I was like, I heard this is super long, maybe I'll start it tomorrow, and then 10 years later, I was like, I kind of want to watch some Hunter x Hunter. Hey, Neve, do you want to watch some Hunter x Hunter?
I was troubled by the Chimera Ant arc, because it was so hyped. And I don't think it was as good as the hype, but it is good. It's good and it's weird and it's interesting, which I appreciate.
I think I agreed with you until I started listening to Media Club Plus's like discussion of it, where it's like there's just a lot of thematic stuff that I completely overlooked my first time through. Like I picked, like I felt like the orc reading Ulysses a little bit young through it. But I don't know. I think there's a ton there, and I think it deserves the heat that it gets. But I
do like the part where Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon sees a butterfly so evil he turns 100 years old instantly.
The dog?
What?
The
Whelphin?
The dog turns 100 years old.
The dog turns 100 years old. Yeah. Oh,
who?
Nov. Sam's talking about Nov.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah.
I'm right. I'm just saying.
You are right.
Two different guys turn 100 years old.
It's the greatest show on the planet.
It's really good.
You know what? I'm starting to think Hunter x Hunter might be good after all.
Komugi is there. Everyone loved Komugi.
I love Komugi.
No, I did like it, for the record. So we're clear. Nobody come at me.
What's some other games?
Can I talk about something that isn't good?
Is it a video game?
No, it's a TV show.
No,
well, I just saw that Crapopolis got renewed for its 5th season.
No, what is Crapopolis?
What the fuck is that?
Exactly. Do you remember when I had a bit of an obsession with Duncanville?
No.
Yes. Oh, yes. Chocolate pudding french fries, I'm only 5.
That's the one. Every once in a while, I become fascinated with a different, like, animation damnation sitcom that nobody's ever heard of that inexplicably has 5 seasons. The thing about Crapopolis is that it doesn't have 5 seasons. It's like, I think it just finished its 2nd season and got renewed for another 3. And what's interesting about that is that nobody's ever heard of it.
Wait, the show stars Richard Ayoade and Matt Berry. How have I not heard of this?
Correct. I
Like,
mean,
I'm
look
not-
through that
I'm
voice
not
cast.
s-
You will see some surprising names.
I'm not saying this is like something that I would like absolutely love. I'm just saying that like I know enough people that like a Dan Harmon run show starring Richard Ayoade and Matt Berry is like something that I feel like I would have heard about it at least.
I do feel
it's
like-
an adult animated sitcom created by Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
for the
I
Fox
do feel
Broadcasting
like if we
Company.
did like HKIP superlatives, I think you would be voted like most likely to turn out to like Crapopolis.
Me?
Wow.
I really wish that I could like dissent on that at all because that's one of the most damning things anyone's ever said about me. But like the thing is that like I do kind of like Rick and Morty, so it's like.
I still like Rick.
Anyway, the thing to know about Crapopolis that I learned when I heard about it like 4 days ago is that this was Dan Harmon trying to make an NFT TV show.
Oh no.
Okay.
So you
NFTV.
can buy, or for the first season you could buy crap chickens.
I don't think I
And-
will.
You know how are you familiar with the concept of a DAO?
Like the
Like
Jones?
like the Jones?
No, like the Jones, yeah, but no. I don't remember what it stands for, and I don't care what it stands for, but it's basically like, oh no, this is getting so close to American politics. Can you imagine a world where having more money means that you have more political power?
Yes, easily.
Can we think of a video game
That's
that does
weird.
this and then talk about that?
The thing with a DAO is that the more tokens you have, the more votes you get when they have votes on things.
Okay, so it's like in Dan Olson Folding Ideas' video about the future as a dead mall, about Decentraland, about how when you have a big stake you can like buy the news or whatever.
Yes, that was the DAO of Decentraland, that they were like
Gotcha.
having a vote to change the rules so that having more tokens didn't mean that you get to make all the decisions.
But the people with
and then
all
the one guy
tokens-
with all the tokens
yeah.
said, no.
It's pretty funny.
That voting reform in video games.
Yeah.
In video games would be interesting, but
Yeah.
I think that we should maybe have some electoral reform in Minecraft. But basically what
No,
Crapopolis was
Minecraft
doing...
is covered under the Xbox boycott for
it's on the
BDS.
boycott.
Shit!
You gotta do it in Shovelcraft, Sam.
You gotta do it in Infinicraft.
So the thing with Crapopolis is that the idea was that you would get the crap chicken tokens that were NFTs, and then the more crap chickens you have, the more you can vote on what happens in the show.
Okay, so it is a video game.
Sam, I'm gonna be so real for a second. I don't want to talk about Crapopolis anymore.
Yeah, because you want to go watch it.
I need to go watch Crapopolis.
Well, the reason that that's funny to me is that suggests that you would like have some impact on the show, and I looked up an example from like a press release about the show that they gave of like, here's why you should get in on this, and it's like, you can pick what wheel this cart will have in the background.
That's really okay. That is pretty funny.
So yeah, 5 seasons and a movie.
5 seasons. 5 seasons. The season 3 does not seem to have premiered yet, which is fun.
No, they also got rid of the NFTs.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's
The
not
Redditors were not happy about that one.
Can I talk about a thing that's good?
Is it a video game?
Yeah.
It is a video game.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it
go
depends on
ahead.
who you ask. I would call it a video game, but some people would not. Umaneko no Naku Koroni. Some of you may have heard of this visual novel.
It's the one with the words, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When they cry?
When they cry, yes. I started reading Umaneko this year. I have finished 3 of 8 chapters, and I think it's really, really good. And I don't want to recommend it openly, because the thing is that I feel like you kind of also need to read Higurashi first, because Ryukishi is very much in conversation with himself. And I will full-throatedly recommend that you read Higurashi. But it's just a lot, is the thing. Both of them. Umaneko is longer than the Bible, and Higurashi is not much shorter than the Bible.
So
How
between
do they
them-
compare to 100 Line in terms of length?
Let me run through my Higurashi play times on each of the chapters.
Okay.
'Cause those
See,
are
this is
broken.
the thing about Higurashi, Umineko, whatever it is that people I know and whose opinions I trust are always saying that I would like it. But then when I look at how I would do that on Steam, there's like 500 of them.
Okay, Sam. First of all, here's the thing I'm going to tell you. I'm going to make this very short. There's going to be
Okay.
There's going to be a point in this where you say, "Ugh, I don't want to have to handle this." It's very easy. You will go and play the first chapter, Higurashi When They Cry Ho, Chapter 1, Onekakushi, which is the first chapter. It is free on Steam. You will
Let's have that
download
video.
the 07th mod to get yourself the voice acting, everything, which is an extremely simple process. Then you will launch the game and you will read the game, and that's all you have to do to read Chapter 1 of Higurashi. I will walk you through
as
this
fast as I can, and then just under an hour I'll refund it.
Exactly. I will say rough back of the napkin math, I think I've probably spent about 200 hours reading Higurashi, though I am a slow reader. I will concede this.
Okay, that's about 100 line.
Yeah. Umineko, I am 3...
Oh, I forgot that wasn't all of it.
Yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way, I'm closer to like 3/5 of the way through the first half of Umineko, and about 88 hours of playtime. So, again, I'm a slow reader. I tend to let my shit idle from time to time, so there's probably at least 10 hours of dead air in there.
There's time that you're crying in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's a really fascinating thing, and the thing is that, like, I don't want to recommend it without, if you want to read it, I feel like you can jump straight to it without having read Higurashi, but you miss a lot of thematic stuff that I feel like Ryukishi is like picking up from where he left off when he started writing Umineko. And also Higurashi is just one of the best stories of like all time. You know, not to be too loud about it, but yeah, Umineko is really good. And also, I think if you do not like reading them with the old sprites, there is something wrong with you. I don't normally get moralistic about this, but I do think that if you're reading with the manga gamer sprites, that's not good, but it's better than what it could be. There are pachinko machine sprites that are the worst fucking things they look like Precious Moments dolls, and they are the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh
I hate them so
now,
much.
that's interesting you say that, because I'm pretty sure that it always looks like Precious Moments dolls.
No. The original ones, the ones drawn by Ryukishi himself with the big fucking glove hands and the very bad looking hair. It's got heart, it's got soul, it's got something deep within that you can't really get. Everything else looks so lifeless compared to it. I sound like I'm doing a fucking bit here, but I promise I'm not. I genuinely have an emotional response to seeing some of the Ryukishi sprites for Higurashi and for Umineko at this point. It's like, there is a heart to them. What he does not have in artistic talent, he makes up for in, like, vibes and feeling, and I genuinely, if it's a bridge too far for you, I understand it, but I really cannot recommend enough at least trying to read it with the original sprites and original backgrounds. The original backgrounds, I think, are non-negotiable, because the updated backgrounds are just like, they're not bad. I don't think they're as bad as like some of the updated sprites are, but they're just like drawings of, like, cell drawings of or like CG drawings of just, like, Japanese village areas. But the originals are like edited photographs, and I think it just imposes such a sense of place on them that I do not think that you get from the drawings. Which I also think is true in Umineko, because the same dichotomy exists. Shout out Umineko no Nakukoroni. That's my. The next time I talk about, we'll have more gameplay. I promise.
You promise?
Does anyone else play Final Fantasy XIV online?
No.
I play Final Fantasy IX.
I guess that's the end of that conversation.
I was going to do a segue into Promise Mascot Agency.
Oh, what? Tell me about that game.
I don't know. I've never heard about this before.
I would. So Rook, have you played Paradise Killer?
I've not. I know that I need to.
Okay, so it's the next game by that studio. Both of these games are really stylistic, kind of like small open world investigation games. Well, the first one's more of an investigation game where you kind of like, it culminates in like a courtroom scene, like a Ace Attorney, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
The second game is kind of a, like, I haven't played Yakuza, but it's very inspired by Yakuza. Sorry, Yakuza.
Okay.
Okay. But instead of going around beating people up, you are driving around a shitty, indestructible truck to go between different businesses, and basically the world is one where there are sentient living mascots who are a like cogent political class who have like who have a hard time finding work outside of a traditional mascot industry. Mm-hmm. And you are a disgraced Yakuza who goes to a small town. It's kind of like frozen in the 70s, but there's like internet and stuff. It's just like a visual language of the 70s of yeah, it's fantastic. The vibes are great, and the story is really good. It's like a
What's the gameplay vibe?
So the gameplay itself is a really interesting loop where you are driving around this little open world, basically just like collecting little collectibles and going to interact with different people and like finding secrets and stuff. But at the same time, you are waiting for your mascots to come back from jobs. So there's never any real downtime. You're always like either doing something or getting your employees ready to go do their next thing. And at their jobs, if they run into trouble, which there's like things you can do to increase their chances of not running into trouble, but if you do run into trouble, you activate a very simple but pretty fun like card battler, where you're taking your like cards of different characters you've met, and you can upgrade these by doing like missions for them, and just like basically supporting the mascot on the job with different combinations of characters that they know. It's very sweet. It's very fun.
It looks weird and interesting. I'll have to.
It is weird and interesting.
Yeah. Elizabeth, I don't know if you know this about me, but I had a huge mascot hyperfixation for a couple of years when I was
really?
in my first undergrad. I'm in on this. This sounds delightful.
It's fantastic. I played the entire thing for like 20 hours over the course of 4 days, which I don't often do, so I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably not going to get fired today.
Oh, good.
Yay!
It's after 5:00 here, which means that I'm allowed to go home.
Oh, that means you're allowed to have a tasty beer.
Well,
You know me.
I do. I know you love your tasty beer.
I drink it for the taste.
Yeah. Yeah. This sounds delightful. Anyone here heard of Final Fantasy IX?
I played a lot of it as a kid, but it never really grabbed me.
I only play Final Fantasy 14.
I've been playing Final Fantasy IX because listening to the previously mentioned Friends of the Table Perpetua season has gotten me really in the mood to play a JRPG. And I don't really have a lot of experience with JRPGs, especially not in the classical sense. Like my main JRPG touchstones are like Persona 4, Persona 5, like a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles. Like I do not have a lot of JRPG experience, so I wanted to like go back and like play something that was like quintessential. And I had Final Fantasy IX in my library already, so I was like, all right, let's tap into this. And it's been kind of slow going as my pace with a lot of RPGs. Like I just kind of, as a rule, just do not go through them very quickly. But I've been really enjoying my time with it. I think that the backgrounds look incredible. Like there's just like such a beautiful like PlayStation, like the way that everyone and everything moves around is just so cool. Like I don't know, there's just like a real beautiful PS1 crunch to it. Like especially with like the way that like anytime there's like an animated background, like there's windmills or like an engine is puttering or like something or the other where there's like actually animation happening. It looks almost like low frame stop motion is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
It's so cool looking, and I'm having a really good time with it. I worried that I would have a hard time getting into the story, but like it gets its hooks into you really quickly, really well. I think with the way that it starts off, which is I'm going to spoil the first hour of Final Fantasy IX, I guess. But
Please do.
You show up to this the protagonist Zidane shows up to this kingdom to kidnap the princess. And then before he can actually do his job, the princess turns to him and is like, hey, can you please kidnap me? I need to get the fuck out of here. And so like, there's just a lot of really interesting dynamics going on, as well as the fact that like the party makeup is constantly shifting. Like, again, my only touchstones are really Persona games, but like, when Yosuke joins your party in Persona 4, Yosuke is in your party forever. But like in this, it's
whether you like it or not.
Right. But in this, it's like, okay, right now your party is Zidane. Okay, now you've got Zidane and also Vivi is there. Okay, now
Vivi.
you've got Steiner.
I know Vivi from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, Vivi's in there. That's the game Vivi's from. I fucking love Vivi. And then okay, now it's Vivi, the princess, Steiner, and Zidane. Okay, now the
I
princess
like Steiner.
is
He's a big, large idiot, and that's fun.
He's delightful. But like. And then, like, characters are just being split up for extended periods of time in ways that I just really hadn't expected when I went. I just kind of assumed that, like, when someone joins your party, they're there for good, unless, like, an Aerith type thing happens to them. But
I think for me, when I was a kid, my trouble was I played Final Fantasy for guys with huge cool swords.
And there's none
And
of
then
those in
here
this
comes
one.
this slender chibi cat boy with 2 little daggers, and I was like, well, this is not my Final
Those weren't big
Fantasy.
enough, no.
He's a monkey boy.
Oh, is he a monkey boy? Okay.
I believe so. He has he looks like a monkey when he activates trance mode or whatever. He looks like he's got a like.
Oh,
a
you're
activates
right.
trance
Okay.
mode?
I just remembered him having
Yeah.
a tail.
Yeah, limit break in this game is there might also be limit break, but the way that it works in this one is that after you take enough damage over the course of many battles, you briefly activate what's called trance. And this, like, you know, some characters just get a straight damage buff. Other characters like get to attack 2 or 3 times with a single attack. I don't know what everyone does because I haven't actually gotten the trance buff on everybody yet, despite playing for like 10 hours or so at this point. I'd say maybe a little less. But yeah, it's beautiful. I'm having a good time with it. Freya is there. Freya just like became an important character. I am obsessed with her immediately.
I do remember liking Freya.
Yeah.
You know what? A few years ago, maybe it was like, I don't remember. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to finally play through Final Fantasy X from beginning to end. I loved that game as a kid, but I never finished it. And playing it as an adult, I was not ready for how weird and bad it feels that you don't just like get stats from leveling up from combat. That is so weird to me.
You gotta do the grid, right?
You got to do the grid, and yeah, it's
The
like
sphere grid.
all character growth is from slotting spheres into the grid. There's no like you just leveled up. Here's another point of strength or like that just doesn't exist in that game. It's you got to get used to it, I guess, and I simply couldn't do it.
Are they like refundable?
I don't remember. I don't think they are.
Are they fungible? Fungible spheres?
I don't.
They're definitely fungible.
Yeah. Yeah, I have like on 3 separate occasions picked up 10 and been like, okay, I'm going to play Final Fantasy 10, and then just I get the same thing happens to, this is the very common refrain for pretty much every video game that I've never finished where I say that's pretty good, I'm going to pick it up tomorrow, and then 4 years pass. Yeah. The only games I can remember in recent memory like actively choosing to put down and not just saying, oh, I'll get back to this tomorrow and then not touching it again is like Hollow Knight, honestly. I actively chose to put down Hollow Knight
Good for
recently.
you.
Yeah, I made that decision about an hour in, and then that was
Bad
it.
for you.
I spent so much time in that game trying to convince myself where I was like, I just like kept getting mad at it, and he was like, you don't sound like you're having a good time. And I'm like, honestly, I'm not. I like
This is great. I thought I was the only person in the world who didn't like Hollow Knight.
I don't like it. I want to.
Woo.
I think that there's a lot going on in there that like I think is fun. I love a lot of the designs. But I just like listen, don't get me wrong, Bapanada, like the fucking grubs, like I want a little grub plushie. Like I'm probably going to play Silk Song on release, but there's just a bit
On what?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Meme
There.
gaming and all that.
There's just something about it that just feels weird and rough and kind of just like I can't put my finger on it, and I understand why everyone loves it to the extent that they do. This isn't one of the things where I think that like everyone is fucking stupid and I'm right about. I've played like 60 hours of that game and I don't think I like it.
I do feel that I'm the one who's right, that everyone else is wrong. I just think I don't like how it feels to play one bit. But I don't genuinely think that everyone else is wrong. I just don't like it, and I'm sorry if I upset anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm also sorry that Silk Song is never coming out.
Great good music, good design. The thing that, you know what, when Earthblade got canceled earlier this year, I was... Yeah.
What was that? I only heard about that when it was canceled.
That was going to be the new thing from Extremely OK Games, the people who made Celeste.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was going to be... They were finally going to make a Metroidvania with good platforming instead of just, putting platforming in a Metroidvania. Good precision platforming. I don't want to play that every Metroidvania has bad platforming, but like... There are segments in Hollow Knight which are very precision platforming based, and I do not think that game... I finished them. I went through the fucking White City. I earned my stripes. I don't think that game is like built to handle precision platforming.
I didn't earn my stripes, and I also agree.
I didn't earn my stripes,
but, yeah,
but I also do want to finish it one day.
Yeah. But yeah, Earthplay getting shit canned just made me so sad.
Yeah.
It seems like they kind of needed to, based on everything that we heard about like what was going on in the studio. Like, it didn't seem like something bad, like terrible was happening. It just seemed like a lot of like creative differences and issues kind of arising.
It's hard to make shit.
So like, what's that?
It's hard to make shit with other people.
It is. It really is.
You're telling us.
I hope that I get to play something new that Matty Thorson worked on in the next 5 or so years. It would mean a lot to me. But you know, we'll keep on keeping on. I can go back and play Money Seas any day, really.
Speaking of Celeste, can I talk about
Yes.
something that's not a video game?
Well, we let Sam talk about the NFT badge, the Crapopolis. Is that what it was called?
Yes.
Yes, we did. What you got?
This is the opposite of that, in that it was really cool and good. And
Goodopolis.
it was
Oh
good.
yes! Oh, I'm so jealous of you for what you're about to talk about.
A couple of months ago, I went to an incredibly cool live music event, which was branded as the world's first symphonic speedrun. Shout out to the Kingston, Ontario Philharmonic Society, or whatever they were called, who did it. It was a live speedrun with an orchestral accompaniment, and it fucking
That's
ruled.
so sick.
What?
Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
What was it? Was a speed run of
So it was 2 speedruns. It was Cuphead for like a DLC any percent run, and then a Celeste just any percent. And basically how it worked was the composer and the speedrunner worked to basically time out when, like, approximately like the order of different cues. So like, okay, I know we're going to be playing this song next, but we don't know exactly which bar it's going to start on, because it could be like this level could take 30 seconds or 40 seconds, right? So this speedrunner is playing the game on a laptop, like at the front of the stage, and then behind them is the conductor facing the big projector where the game is being projected on, and then there's all the orchestra in front of him. And as he's watching the screen, along with everyone else in the audience, when the runner gets to the end of the level, he holds up a finger, and on the beat that the level ends, he puts it down, and they go to the next sound cue. So it was just this
Weird.
incredible, like,
That sounds so sick.
it was so cool. It was the first one of its kind. He's hoping to we're not a real podcast, so I'm not gonna like bother bringing up names and stuff. But it was cool, and I hope it happens again.
Yeah, that sounds sick. I'm
There's
jealous
no
that you got to
video
go.
online, which is unfortunate because I'm really curious what this sounds like.
It sounded fucking great. Also,
Oh, okay.
yeah, don't worry about it. For Celeste, it actually like it required like someone to transpose the score into like orchestral notation, because that's a mostly electronic score.
Yeah.
So both Lena Rain and the person who transcribed it were there, and I got one of my Celeste cassettes signed by Lena Rain, and it was very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Am I the only person here who was driven mad by blueprints?
No.
I have not yet been driven mad by blueprints.
I will get to that game when I have time to have a notebook open.
You have time to unravel.
Yeah.
I'm worried about. That seems like a game that I'm really interested in that game, but I'm also worried about it activating like one of my various neuroses that makes me feel self-conscious for being duped. It activates. Listen, yeah, there is one person in the world that I would allow to sit next to me while I play a Legend of Zelda game, because it is fucking humiliating how bad I am at the logic that they are trying to employ in those
Oh,
ones.
Rook, I get that so much. I totally agree.
Okay, thank you. Neve watches me play a Legend of Zelda game, and I swear to God, it's like she's watching a fucking Neanderthal try to make fire with like a wet stick.
Watching the files are in the computer scene from Zoolander.
Yes.
When I started playing Blueprints, I was like, oh, this is like one of those board games where you like build the map out of tiles as you uncover them. And I was like, well, this sucks. That's like one of the worst things that a board game can be. And they made it a video game. I hate this. And then fast forward like 2 days and I have 150 pages of Google Doc notes.
It sounds like a good experience. Like the thing is that like I want to play this because I think that, like, there's an equal chance of it like making me feel like the dumbest person. Well, it won't make me feel very, very stupid, but it also has a chance to make me feel like the Outer Wilds did, and like if I could have anything make me feel like that game did, I should play.
Here's what I'll say: if you do play it, when
DLC.
you do play it,
yeah.
For what it's worth, there are puzzles in the game where I have thought about them for so long, and then just been like, I'm not gonna get this, and then I look it up online. And I'm like, I am just thinking in a completely... Like, that was never, ever going to occur to me as the way that I should have been approaching this.
That's what it seems like.
And then, once I have that thought, I don't care anymore that I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was being too smart for the game,
Right,
so it's
exactly.
fine.
There are 5 different learning styles, and they're the 5 different love languages of video games.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I can't give any examples of times that this happened because I will be killed.
I do feel like the way that people talk about this game, I kind of feel like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I get it already. Like I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm getting I'm getting from the way people are talking about this all I need to know about it, and the actual playing of it will just be perfunctory.
I don't feel that way, and the reason is because there's so much story to it and so much like really interesting world building that comes together, and that's what I have found so interesting.
I didn't know there was
really
world
driven
building
me through it.
Okay, all right.
It is a fascinating world.
Elizabeth, I know this is a bit mean, but you say I didn't know it had world building. I also didn't know this. I want to be clear before I say this. But did you see that dog shit post from Crunchyroll like maybe like a month or so ago, where there's like 4 screen caps from the Chimera Ant arc that just says when the anime has lore.
Yeah, I saw that.
When the anime has lore.
Okay, you know an anime that has lore though? Speaking of the feeling of, oh damn, there's world building. Delicious in Dungeon.
It has lore.
It has lore. It has world building. It's set in a place with stuff that happened. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, it's not a video game, but we can talk about it.
I thought they were just going to be eating burgers every week.
But no, they're eating so many different things, and they all have.
They're eating burgers. They're eating pancakes. But in between eating burgers and pancakes, they talk about elves. Yeah,
that's a fantastic show. I just read the first volume from the library. I'm excited to get to more of it.
Have you read the whole thing before, Elizabeth, or am I the only one who's read the whole thing?
I haven't read the whole thing.
Okay.
Is the story like finished?
Yep. Yeah. It's been finished for about a year or 2.
Okay.
Yeah. It was being just released monthly over the course of like 10 years or so.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to bring it up in detail, but there is a panel from like the last 6 or so chapters that I just think about all the fucking time, to the point where like I want to reread the series a couple more times to like make it so that like I feel like I have justification to like get a tattoo of it. I need to spend a good number of hours thinking. Like there's a reason that I spent 200 hours on Higurashi. It's so that I could get the tattoo. I need
something that I really, really like about Delicious in Dungeon is you start watching it and you're like, okay, so there's the elf mage, there's the halfling rogue, and then there's the human sword guy, and you're like, well, he's the main character, he's the human. And then what you realize as you watch more of it is that Chilchuck, the halfling rogue, is actually the protagonist, and that the human sword guy is a complete absolute freak, one of the weirdest people in the entire show, and that's good.
So much.
That's me. That's my fucking dude. That's my me.
What is it? Oh my god, I'm completely blanking on his name. Laios. I wanted to call him Lloyd, but that's the dad from Spy Family.
Shout out Laios. I have never felt more represented by a character in anything.
He's incredible.
Like that's my me. That is me.
Yeah, it's a really good story. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it, and also seeing the rest of it animated when it gets animated, because it is, on top of a good story, a beautiful show.
It is. The manga is probably one of my favorite stories of all time. I need to read it. Like I said, I need to read it a couple more times before I really lock it in. But it's like that's up there. That's up there in like my top 10, top 5.
And the anime has
across mediums. What's that?
When the anime has lore.
When the anime has lore.
I don't want to get too into it for spoiler reasons, obviously, for anyone who hasn't seen it. But there is an episode that's like, I would say mostly a comic relief episode about Laios, like, blue skidooing into art.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the way that comes back
The
later
Quenties.
is so incredible.
It
I would
blew
never
my
have
fucking
imagined.
mind. When I was reading that, because I watched the first episode with my friend a day or two after it came out, and then I just read the entire manga in like a week and a half's time. I lost my fucking mind when that came back up.
God.
No, I think it's so good, and Phelan is
I
there.
hope they do more anime
Phelan
of it.
is there.
Phelan
I don't
is
know how to
oh
read.
God, Phelan.
Actually, I was reading a book recently.
What?
How weird is that?
That's not a video game.
Well, haha, so you think.
Were you reading Ready Player One, Sam?
Because I found out that there are books of Heaven's Vault.
Oh, shit.
They announced that they're like continuing the story from where the game left off in a third novel, which I think just came out, and I was like, damn, they got novel? And I was reading the first one, and it's interesting.
I have to play that. I've played a couple of Inkle things and really liked them.
I love Heaven's Vault.
Mhm.
It's really incredible. Heaven's Vault is, for anyone who's not familiar, it's basically a point and click adventure game where you are an archaeologist translating a dead language. And if you're me, that's literally the only thing that you need to hear about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Chance of Sonar, Sam?
Yes.
That's a...
Love Chance of Sonar.
We need a trillion more language decryption games.
I know. I feel like I was just playing something that I was surprised to have
More
language stuff. Oh, it's the new DLC for Rise of the Golden Idol had some language in it.
Oh, sure, that makes sense. That's a very similar kind of genre space.
Yeah.
I haven't played those either, but I'm sure I got around to them one day.
They're really good. Highly recommended for anyone who enjoyed Curse of the Obra Dinn.
I finally bought that.
fuck.
It's been on my wish list for years, and I finally was like, I just need to play this.
I am adding it to. You mentioned I did not know about Obra Dinn. I did not realize that Obra Dinn was in conversation. I'm going to put Case of the Golden Idol on here on this wish list.
You will like it. It's really good, and the sequel is also very good.
I love this. I love this art style. I did not know what this game looked like at all.
Yeah,
on my
it's
wish
really
list.
funny because the first game is like I want to say it's like 1700s, like British nobility. Like, what if they had a magical artifact that allowed them to be really stupid and evil?
Mhm.
And then they announced a year or two later that they were making a sequel that's set in the 1970s, and I was like, I want to see this magical artifact go to space.
Yeah.
I want to see them. I want to see every era's foibles.
Right. Yeah. It's like the natural conclusion people came to when they realized that like the Legend of Korra was set in like the 1930s or whatever. Okay, we made a 200-year jump. Let's do that again. Let's see the third Avatar series in like 2004. Show us some trip pants.
I never finished Legend of Korra. The last
Me
thing I
neither.
remember was that someone exploded on a boat.
That was the first season.
Yeah, that was the first season.
I think I have the whole thing on Blu-ray. Maybe someday I'll remember to watch it.
It's I
Hey, remember when they made an Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series?
no.
No.
Me either.
Yep.
They announced the next Avatar. Next Avatar
They did?
real. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did.
I don't know if it'll be good.
We never do. Does anyone have One Piece opinions?
No.
Not really.
Okay, perfect. I just saw that a lot of people were getting mad about the way that Chopper looks in the Netflix show, and I just wanted to see if anyone was mad.
I've read the first 100 chapters or so of the manga, which is like just enough to have like met Chopper for about 20 chapters.
I think that's exactly where I stopped reading.
Is he the little
he
parappa
seems
guy?
fine. What's that?
He's a reindeer with a hat.
Yeah, he looks like a Parappa the Rapper character.
Yeah.
It is funny when he becomes jacked.
Yeah.
When Chopper goes to the gym.
Most of my One Piece knowledge comes from playing the Nintendo GameCube game One Piece Grand Adventure as a child.
Okay, I think that we literally had the same One Piece upbringing.
Not to be confused with One Piece Grand Battle, which I think was the same game. But
I
one
think
of them
I
had,
also
like, a story
played
mode.
that.
I can tell it's because I'm assuming that they're the same game because there was a Grand Battle version of One Piece. Like you could go to the Grand Battle menu and there was like a little rap about about how it's going to be a Grand Battle.
You know what? I don't remember which one of those games it was, but I remember that one of them had a system where you would like build up meter and then you would use up your meter to do a big attack. But the more you built it up, the longer the attack would go. Who's the fish guy? I can't remember the fish guy's name.
Arlong. Sawtooth Arlong.
Arlong's big special attack that used his meter was really funny because if you didn't each like stage of it would add a little bit of dialogue, and if you didn't finish it, then he would just like completely he would literally go like, "What's the difference between you and me?" Next stage, "Gotta guess?" And then if you don't fill it up after that, he just goes, never mind.
Yep. I remember this exactly. I think that was Grand Battle because I don't think Grand Adventure had quite that many stages, but Grand Adventure did have 1 and 2 stages where like because the first one is like they're just like you're doing a big combo attack and like a void with just like anime action lines, and then it would transition to like a set piece where you would get the shit kicked out of you for real, and they would finish their cool line. And Sanji would be like, "Prime cut kick! Surprise!" But he would like do less damage to women because he's obsessed with he wants to have sex with them.
Well, you gotta respect that.
You gotta honor that.
Yeah.
Well, we could keep talking
Just
about...
letting that hang there for all the people with opinions about Sanji to be mad at me.
Yeah.
We could keep talking about video games that we played as children, but I feel like maybe...
Yeah, I'm out of games to talk about now.
Is there anything that you are looking forward to coming out soon?
I mean, Deltarune comes out soon, which I have not played Deltarune Chapter... I have not played Deltarune Chapter 2 yet, so
wait,
I'm behind
is this like the rest of the game?
It's 3 and 4.
No,
There's going to be 7.
4.
There's gonna be 7?
There's going to be 7 chapters.
Can I say, I played part 1 when it came out, and I never played part 2 because I was like, I'll wait for the rest of it.
You're already waiting a while.
I didn't realize. I was like, I can finally go back and play the rest of Deltarune now that it's going to be done.
Yeah,
so Sam, you played Kentucky Route Zero, right?
I didn't like it.
What?
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm the guy who
guy.
doesn't like Kentucky Route Zero.
No, the thing is, I have known many people who did not like Kentucky Route Zero, but I'm just surprised to hear that you're one of those people.
It was a lot of cool vibes, and then it took so long, and I finally played episode 4 or whatever, and I was like, I just don't feel anything about this.
How did you play it? Did you play it like when each episode came out?
If I remember correctly, I played it as it was coming out, and then I think there was like a huge gap between, I want to say 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that years and years later, and I mean, I can check on Steam when I would have gone back and played it. Let's see. This would have been 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I finally came back to it, and I think I did start from the beginning because it was like, it's been so long, and I was just like, I'm not getting anything from this.
I played it only a couple years ago, and I played it like 1 chapter / interlude per night for 10 days.
Yep, I did this as well.
And that was a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah. I don't know if there are any moments, like, I'm sure there are other things that can supersede this, but in this moment, I can't think of any singular video game moment that affected me quite as much as I'm Going That Way did in the end of Chapter 5. Or, like, at the end of, in Chapter 3, I think when Conway just kind of, like, vanishes. Oh, God.
My big memory is the diner, or like the...
Oh, the diner is so good.
Yeah, like the musical number.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Just
I wish I liked it in the end as much as I liked it in the beginning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I remember, like, playing Act 1 when it came out and, like, being like, I love this shit. I'm going to wait until the game is actually all the way out to play all of it. I did not touch Act 2 or 3 when they came out. And then Act 5 came out in January of 2020, and I was like, okay,
there we
finally,
go.
I can...
So yeah, Deltarune. The first 2 chapters have been out as a demo. What's releasing tomorrow is going to be chapters 1 to 4, but then 5 to 7 will be free updates as they come out, or maybe all at once.
Oh, I
so
gotta
like
do it. I gotta do it.
You gotta do it. This is like the purchase for Deltarune.
Okay. I mean, Undertale is probably my favorite video. Oh, well, Outer Wilds might have beaten it, but God, I do love Undertale so much, and I've been wanting to get around to Deltarune, but I'm also 150 hours under the 100 line.
The thing is, you gotta finish 100 line at this point. Like, you can't...
You gotta all 100 of those lines.
Yeah.
There's more than 100 lines at this point.
The fact that, like, the thing is that, like, every single time I read about 100 line, I was like, there was a part of me that was like, I'm glad this is gonna suck because I cannot like possibly spend the amount of time on this that I would need to. But no, apparently it's good, and I'm like,
It's
fuck
so good.
me. I need to tap in. I'm not a huge Kodaka guy, but I do, I'm a huge fan of Uchikoshi's work. No disrespect to Kodaka, of course. I like Danganronpa 1, and I've read half of Danganronpa 2. I should finish it one of these days. But the two of them on the same track is like, that's crazy.
It is funny. I did kind of have the same thought when I heard they were collaborating. I was like, oh, that sounds too good to be true. It's probably going to be bad.
Right, because the last Kodaka project was not really good to my recollection. I don't remember what it was called, but it was another like murder game thing, because that's all the man knows how to write.
Raincode?
No, there was one before that, I think.
Was it like World's End Club or something?
That might be it.
I never played that one. I played
Club,
Raincode
yes.
a few months ago, and I actually really liked it.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about Raincode. I'm probably going to...
Raincode honestly feels like if Kodaka made Somnium Files.
Does it have the same stupid-ass dream logic that you have to contend with that Somnium Files does?
No, nothing does.
I need to replay Somnium Files with a guide in hand because I
Correct.
really like that game, but the puzzles are just fucking insufferable.
I got like halfway through the first game and I was like, I'm just pulling up a walkthrough. I don't care anymore. It's genuinely not worth it.
I wasn't having any fun. Like it was another thing where Neve had to point out to me, like, hey, you don't sound like you're having very much fun with this. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to pull up a guide.
Did you ever play the sequel?
I haven't yet. No, I was thinking about that on my drive home today.
I think that the puzzle logic of the sequel is more actual puzzle logic and less dream logic. I thought that they were better.
That's good. That's what I've heard. Because I do like the puzzles that are in Uchikoshi games typically. Like I
having just replayed 999. Not that one. Not
good puzzles in that one.
The puzzles in 999 will literally be like you pick up. This is an actual puzzle in the game. You pick up a power cable for a computer monitor, and you try to plug it into the computer monitor that doesn't have power, and you're like, haha, I'm a genius. But it doesn't fit. So then you have to look around and find an adapter, and you click on a thing that has a bunch of cables, and there's an adapter in it, and then you get the adapter, and you plug it into the cable, and then you can plug in the monitor, and that's a puzzle.
The thing is, I played 999 at the right age to just like have it's shielded from all criticism in my mind because I'm thinking about that and I'm like, yeah.
Well, I was a huge flash game escape game kid.
Oh yeah, you loved Godlimations.
I don't think I ever played any Godlimations. I remember playing like the Crimson Room, the Viridian Room. I played a lot of escape games, not only in that series, but those I think were like the most famous ones. And yeah, so I remember playing 999 and being like, this is I'm glad that I didn't pay for this because I played it on an emulator legally somehow. And I literally was like, I'm glad I didn't pay for this because this is some of the worst escape game I've ever played.
Yeah,
but it's worth it for the story.
Yeah, Virtue's Last Reward also, great puzzles and that shit.
Oh yeah, that one's much better. I think I said earlier, we're playing Dual Destinies now, and it was a real, I need to control myself because what I want to do is immediately jump into Virtue's Last Reward because it's the game ever.
But you gotta let it simmer.
I'm letting it simmer. I'm letting it simmer.
Those are all the games that I have to talk about.
Gaming.
If you're gonna walk away from this and play,
see if my boss is.
If you're gonna play one game that I recommended today, make it be Higurashi. But if you're gonna play one game today that doesn't require 200 hours of investment, make it Toho Mistyo's Izakaya. Great fucking game.
Nice.
He hasn't said anything.
Yay. Everything okay.
Everything okay.
If I was gonna get fired, he would have done it by now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a little tired. I have to go clean my car out because I have to give my mom a ride tomorrow morning, and I don't want her berating the cleanliness of my car.
I think we've done some good game chat, y'all.
Yeah,
we'll be back tomorrow with more games news.
Yeah, it's daily.
Yeah, exactly.
Games, news, and interviews.
My news from tomorrow is going to be that Wriggle Nightbug. I've gotten to level 5 friendship with Wriggle Nightbug in Toho Mistyo's Izakaya.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry that I've been saying Wriggle Nightbug so much, but the thing is that her name is Wriggle Nightbug.
Her name is Wriggle Nightbug.
Oh, it's Wriggle Nightbug.
Yeah, let me show you a picture of Wriggle. Let me show you a picture of Wriggle Nightbug because
How funny would it be if I did know this one?
Here's what Wriggle Nightbug looks like.
Oh, that's Wriggle Nightbug?
That's a cute. Okay.
I love her big ass bloomers.
Where did you post this?
What's this artifact in the upper left?
Oh, I think it's a little bug.
It's
One of her,
her little-
Where did you post Wriggle Nightbug?
Yeah,
I posted it
know
and I have no mouth
stream.
and I must stream.
Oh my god.
That's Wriggle Nightbug.
Have people just been posting there this whole time?
Yeah.
When I
Discord
say that Wriggle-
added text channels for voice channels for a reason. Jesus, there's a lot of posts in here.
When,
Okay.
when I say that Wriggle Nightbug is Futch, Discord user 5 of a kind asks, I think that I would. I think that like I think the bloomers and the cape and the top it's all giving Futch.
I think
yeah.
Wriggle Nightbug has whatever Karapika has going on with gender.
That's so true, actually.
This
Okay.
looks like what's that Pokemon? Cricketoon?
Cricketoon.
It does look like Kricketune.
Hold on, I need to Google Wriggle Nightbug Cricketoon.
This motherfucker looked like Cricketoon.
No promising results for Wriggle Nightbug Cricketoon, but you know what?
Search Wriggle Nightbug X Cricketoon.
Oh, I forgot the X. Let me try that real quick. Hold on.
Always forget the X.
It's not out yet, but we recorded an extra credit episode reading Squid Bob fanfic.
Huh, how is it?
It's some of the most graphic, upsetting stuff I've ever read
Oh.
on
Does
that podcast.
Does SpongeBob have like a bespoke hole down there? It's just like one of his other sponge
All
holes.
He is referred to as having a special hole.
Okay, yeah. It's
much more anatomically correct is what I would say than I expected.
All right, I think we've run the spectrum now from going from dog cum to SpongeBob special holes. I think it's time to sign off. I'm not gonna plug shit. I'm Rook. If you want to find me, you fucking know where to find me.
Yeah, you can find me under a Smooth River Rock on a rainy day.
Yeah. Smoother.
I will say, unfortunately, I am on Blue Sky at Posy Stress, and I am going to shout out my podcasts.
Please.
Because we're
nice.
We're on a longer hiatus than I expected on Sounds About Light now that Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is canceled, but we'll be back at some point. And our Random Order Doctor Who podcast, Doctor Huh, we're going to be recording that again very soon.
Dr. Buh?
Dr. Who?
That's right.
Dr.
That's
Huh?
right. That's right.
And now it's time for Wish Us Duck.
Oh yeah, this is the segment where I try to sound like Donald Duck. What do you want me to say in Donald Duck voice?
Can you say that you're going to give birth to a healthy litter of puppies?
You always say, I'm going to give birth to a healthy litter of puppies?
You know what? Yeah, give some implications about what him and Goofy have been doing in the sidelines.
Okay, I haven't done this voice in a little while.
Stand back. Do some stretches, Sam. I don't want you to throw your back out.
Whoa, hold on. I gotta stretch. That's not my best.
That's an incredible
That's
talent,
really
though.
impressive.
A little rusty. It's not there. I lost it.
It's okay. Next time.
Yeah, next time. Get him next time.
Next. Hey, if you think that's bad, just wait till our episode when Kingdom Hearts 4 is out. I won't have done the voice in 6 years.
Well, thanks
right.
for listening to gaming, everyone.
Thanks for gaming.
Will this happen
And
again?
as we remember, the podcast is called what?
Henry Kissinger has passed. Gaming time decadence.
There you
Here
go.
we go.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
We're
Right.
just stopping.
I don't know. What do you want to outro this? I don't got nothing. Okay, good. Podcast end.
Shit.